Chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. God led you here for a divine reason. You've been through battles that were never meant to break you, but to bring you closer to His promise. You've seen people rise against you, lies spoken over your name, doors that once were open suddenly shut. But hear this clearly. God is about to reverse everything that was sent against you. What was meant for evil is about to work together for your good. The tides are shifting. The tables are turning. Heaven is about to announce your reversal. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just another video. It's a divine confirmation straight from heaven for the chosen ones, and a heartfelt thank you to everyone who's been supporting through Super Thanks. God bless you abundantly. Your support, your prayers, and your presence mean more than words can express. To everyone who continues to listen, align, and stand firm in faith, you are the heartbeat of this mission. If your spirit resonates with this message, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't random. It's a prophetic signal to the Most High that you're ready. Ready for divine reversal. Ready for every plot, plan, and problem that was sent against you to turn in your favor. Ready to step into the season where God makes the last first and the forgotten remembered. Not everyone will stay until the end. Only those truly chosen will feel the depth of what's being revealed here. Those who do will receive clarity, confirmation, and spiritual insight about the powerful reversal God is about to release in their life. This isn't just a message, it's a living word. A divine decree unfolding piece by piece. Watch it again whenever your spirit calls you back, because each time another layer of revelation will rise, and you'll see more clearly that God is about to reverse everything that was sent against you. Let's dive in. Chapter 1. The silent battle behind your struggle, chosen one. You've been fighting a battle that few could ever understand. While others saw your calm face, your steady walk, and your quiet strength, only you knew the storms that raged behind your smile. You've endured mental, emotional, and spiritual warfare that words could never fully describe. And through it all, you learned how to suffer in silence, how to keep moving even when your spirit felt crushed, how to keep believing when nothing made sense. You weren't just fighting visible circumstances. You were wrestling against unseen forces, generational patterns and spiritual cycles designed to block your breakthrough. There were nights when you couldn't sleep because your spirit was under attack. Days when you felt the weight of unseen opposition pressing against your soul. But here's the truth. None of it happened by accident. Every battle you faced was divinely permitted by God to build something eternal within you. The enemy thought he could destroy your faith. He thought he could make you question your calling, doubt your worth, and walk away from your purpose. He came for your mind because he couldn't touch your anointing. He whispered lies, used familiar faces, and created distractions to drain your energy. But what the enemy didn't understand was that your silence was your secret weapon. You didn't fight back with words, you fought back with prayer. You didn't seek revenge, you sought revelation. You didn't collapse, you surrendered. And that surrender became your strength. God saw that when you had every reason to retaliate, you chose peace. When you had every reason to give up, you kept showing up. When you felt completely alone, you still called on His name. That's what separates you, chosen one. That's why the battle was so intense, because your destiny carries weight. God intentionally hid you in seasons of isolation, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You weren't forgotten, you were being fortified. While others thought you were being left behind, heaven was sharpening your discernment, deepening your wisdom, and strengthening your spirit. You learned how to depend on God alone. You discovered that the same silence that once felt like abandonment was actually protection. Every tear that fell, every rejection that pierced your heart, every false accusation that tried to stain your name, heaven took note of it all. You didn't just survive injustice, you stored up spiritual evidence. And now the judge of all creation is about to bring divine justice. The same God who saw what was done in the dark is preparing to reverse it in the light. The very pain you thought would bury you has become the seed of your elevation. Chosen one, understand this. Your suffering was not wasted. Your warfare was not in vain. Every wound became wisdom. Every loss became leverage. Every betrayal became the blueprint for your rise. God used the silent seasons to build the strength you'll need for the public blessing. You may not have realized it at the time, but the silence you endured was heaven's training ground. You weren't losing. You were learning. You weren't being ignored. You were being initiated into a higher dimension of purpose. The pain refined you. The process matured you. And now the promise is about to reveal you. God is preparing to reverse the verdict, restore what was stolen, and reward the endurance that kept you standing. Chapter 2. When everything fell apart, God was still in control. Chosen one. There was a season when it felt like everything around you was collapsing. The people you trusted walked away. The opportunities you prayed for suddenly vanished. The doors you thought would lead to your breakthrough were slammed shut without warning. You looked at your life and wondered, God, where are you in all of this? It seemed like nothing was working, like every effort was wasted and every dream was slipping further out of reach. But what you didn't realize then was that nothing was truly falling apart. It was falling into place. You see, when God begins to shift your life toward destiny, it often looks like destruction. He allows certain things to break so he can build something unshakable. He allows certain people to leave so that the ones meant to walk with you can finally enter. He removes what you thought you needed so that you can learn to depend on him completely. God had to let certain doors close, not because you weren't ready, but because those doors led to places that could have destroyed your purpose. Every no, every rejection, every delay was his divine protection in disguise. You weren't being abandoned, you were being rerouted. Heaven saw what you couldn't see. While you were asking God to fix what broke, he was working on building something better behind the scenes. Every loss was making room for a greater gain. The friendships that ended were part of your spiritual pruning. The job you lost, the opportunity that slipped away, the relationship that didn't work out, all of it was preparation for something divine. God had to clear the clutter so that your next season could flow freely. He was removing distractions, exposing hidden motives, and testing your faith to make sure that when the blessing came, your heart would be ready to handle it. There were moments when you cried and begged for clarity, wondering why everything good seemed to fade. But chosen one, hear this. God was never out of control. Even when you felt like you were walking through chaos, he was writing divine order into every line of your story. He was positioning you, pruning you, and preparing you for a destiny that required everything you lost. You thought you were being delayed, but you were being developed. You thought it was punishment, but it was preparation. God was quietly aligning every detail behind the scenes. The very people who thought they rejected you were actually redirecting you into purpose. The places that denied you were the very ones that would later witness your rise. And here's the beautiful truth. While you were worrying, heaven was working. God was speaking your name in rooms where your feet had never stepped. People you've never met were being positioned to favor you. Resources you never imagined were being aligned for your arrival. You didn't need to fight for recognition. God himself was your promoter. Chosen one, the breakdown was part of the blueprint. What looked like destruction was really divine construction. Every shattered piece was being rearranged to form a masterpiece that only God could create. And now you're about to see why he allowed certain things to happen the way they did. If those people hadn't left, you would have stayed in comfort. If that plan hadn't failed, you wouldn't have discovered your true purpose. Chapter 3. The Divine Reversal. Is written in heaven, chosen one, before the foundation of the world, before the earth took form or light broke through darkness, God already wrote the outcome of your story. Your destiny wasn't formed in the chaos of your past. It was written in the peace of His eternal plan. The ink of heaven recorded your name with purpose, and in that divine script, your ending was marked by victory. That's why no weapon formed against you could ever prosper, because heaven decided your triumph before the attack even began. You were chosen before the battle. You were anointed before the adversity. Everything you're facing now has already been factored into your divine blueprint. The pain, the betrayal, the rejection. They didn't rewrite your story. They revealed the strength within it. What the enemy meant for evil, God already turned into evidence. Every hardship became proof that His hand was on you. Every disappointment was just another page in the prophecy of your comeback. The reversal that's coming into your life isn't ordinary. It's not just about getting back what you lost. It's about restoration with divine interest. God doesn't just restore. He redeems. He doesn't just balance the scales. He multiplies what was taken. You're not going back to how things used to be. You're going forward to what they were always meant to become. The years that were stolen by pain and betrayal are being repaid with divine acceleration. You will not just recover your peace. You'll walk in supernatural power. You will not just regain what was lost. You'll rise with double honor. The same mouth that spoke against you will soon speak of your testimony. Every lie that was told about you is about to be publicly corrected. Every rejection is about to turn into redirection. Heaven's court recorded every injustice, every false judgment, every tear that fell without explanation. And now the judge of all creation has declared, enough is enough. Chosen one, you are not waiting on victory. It's already been written. The battle you're in has already been won in the Spirit. The situations that seemed like setbacks are becoming setups for your breakthrough. When God reverses something, He doesn't simply restore it to what it was. He elevates it beyond recognition. You're about to experience blessings so abundant that even your losses will start to make sense. God is rewriting the chapter that the enemy tried to steal. This is the divine exchange. Ashes for beauty, mourning for joy, heaviness for praise. The winds are shifting, and heaven's court has ruled in your defense. The decree has been released. The chosen one will rise. The same God who watched you walk through the fire is now preparing to crown you with glory in the presence of those who thought the fire would consume you. Lift your head, chosen one, because what was once written in heaven is now being manifested on earth. Your reversal isn't coming. It's already begun. The case is closed. The verdict is final. And the outcome is victory. Heaven's decree stands eternal. You win. Chapter 4. Those who mocked you will marvel at you, chosen one. You remember the ones who laughed when you were struggling, the ones who whispered behind your back, counted you out, and used your lowest moments as entertainment. They saw your pain as permanent, your silence as weakness, and your downfall as final. But what they didn't know is that God was watching the entire scene. He was quietly preparing your rise while they were busy mocking your fall. Every insult you endured, every rumor that spread, every moment of humiliation, it all served a divine purpose. You were being hidden in plain sight while God worked on your foundation. You weren't being buried, you were being planted. While they were laughing, God was lifting you. While they were talking, God was transforming you. You were in divine preparation for a season that their eyes were never meant to see coming. God is saying, "Be still and know that I am God." Your vindication will not come through revenge or confrontation. It will come through undeniable manifestation. The same people who said you'd never recover are about to watch you walk in restoration. Those who mocked your faith will witness your favor. Those who said you were delusional for trusting in God will soon testify that His hand was on your life the entire time. The shift won't be subtle, it will be supernatural. The very ones who mocked your pain will marvel at your peace. The same people who saw you as broken will stand amazed at the light glowing from your healing. They will be forced to admit only God could have done this, because what's about to happen in your life won't make sense logically. It will only make sense spiritually. The elevation will be so divine that no human hand will be able to take the credit. Chosen one, God is preparing a table before you right in the presence of those who tried to break you. And not just any table, one overflowing with peace, purpose, and provision. They'll have to watch you eat from the feast of favor they once said you'd never taste. But remember this isn't about pride or proving anyone wrong. You're not rising to clap back. You're rising to shine back. Your success will speak the language of grace, not vengeance. This next level isn't about showing off. It's about showing God. He's revealing His glory through your story. Every tear you cried was a seed. Now you're stepping into your harvest. You are becoming the living proof that no mockery can mute destiny. The more they doubted you, the louder your breakthrough will echo. You'll no longer need to explain yourself. Your results will do all the talking. So walk humbly, chosen one. The same crowd that mocked your pain will be the same crowd that magnifies your purpose. The same ones who dismissed you will now respect you. And through it all, remember, it was never about them. It was always about Him. God allowed them to see your breaking so they would know your blessing wasn't luck. It was divine orchestration. You are the testimony of what happens when grace steps into ridicule. You are the evidence that faith never fails. You are about to become living proof that when God is for you, it truly doesn't matter who is against you. Those who mocked you will marvel at you, not because you got even, but because you got elevated. And your story will forever declare, "Look what the Lord has done." Chapter 5. Your obedience activated the turnaround. Chosen one, your story is about to reveal a powerful truth. Obedience carries breakthrough power. You could have taken shortcuts. You could have fought fire with fire. You could have chosen revenge instead of restraint. But you didn't. You stayed grounded, silent, and faithful even when it felt unfair. You chose character over chaos and purpose over pride. And that decision, that quiet obedience in the middle of confusion, became the key that unlocked heaven's favor over your life. God tests His strongest warriors not in noise but in silence. The real exam of faith doesn't happen when everyone is watching. It happens when no one sees. It's in those unseen moments where you wanted to lash out, but instead you prayed. It's when you wanted to quit, but you kept trusting. It's when you wanted to return the same energy they gave you, but you chose grace instead. Every one of those decisions was a spiritual investment. And now the harvest is ready. Each time you obeyed God, even when it hurt, the heavens recorded it. Each time you walked away from what didn't align with your purpose, God promoted you in the Spirit. Your obedience spoke louder than any words you could have said. Heaven celebrates not those who are perfect, but those who remain faithful through pressure. You proved to God that He could trust you with favor, that you wouldn't let bitterness corrupt your blessings. Chosen one, you need to understand. Obedience breaks barriers that prayer alone cannot. Prayer is what opens the door, but obedience is what walks you through it. Because of your submission, divine order is being released. God is rearranging things you didn't even know were out of place. Opportunities are about to locate you. Resources are about to find you. Divine connections are about to appear out of nowhere. The same obedience that made you look foolish to others is about to make you favored before all. The turnaround you're stepping into won't just touch one area. It will ripple through every part of your life. Spiritually, you're being elevated. Emotionally, you're being healed. Financially, doors that were sealed shut are about to swing wide open. And generationally, chains that ran in your bloodline are being broken because of your decision to stay in divine alignment. Your yes to God didn't just change your path, it changed your lineage. You may not have realized it, but your obedience was warfare. Every time you said no to temptation, you declared victory in the spirit realm. Every time you waited on God instead of forcing an outcome, angels moved on your behalf. Every time you humbled yourself instead of demanding to be seen, heaven took note and began preparing your elevation. Now that hidden obedience is about to be publicly rewarded, God is about to honor you in ways that even your enemies will recognize. He's about to bless you so boldly that people will ask, "How did this happen so suddenly?" But you'll know it wasn't sudden, it was sown. Every act of obedience was a seed, and now your harvest season has come. Chosen one, the tables are turning in your favor. Not by chance, but by choice. Your choice to stay aligned when the world tried to pull you off course. Chapter 6. The last will be first. Chosen one, you've watched others pass you by. You've seen people rise who didn't work as hard, who didn't carry the same heart, who didn't endure what you endured. You've clapped for others while secretly wondering, "God, when will it be my turn?" You've been the one who encouraged others while fighting your own silent battles. You've been faithful behind the scenes while others received the spotlight. But here's the divine truth. God has been saving the best for last. When you thought you were forgotten, you were actually being reserved. Heaven was preparing a divine unveiling. You see, God doesn't rush destiny. He refines it. He takes his time with those he intends to elevate, because what he's building in you must be able to stand the weight of the glory he's about to release. While others were being seen, you were being strengthened. While they were being celebrated, you were being sanctified. While they were gaining attention, you were gaining anointing. God often hides his greatest vessels in plain sight. Think of Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, thrown into a pit, forgotten in prison. To the world it looked like Joseph was losing, but in the spirit he was being promoted step by step. His isolation was his preparation. And when the time came, one divine moment reversed years of suffering. He went from the lowest position to the highest seat of authority in the land. That's what divine reversal looks like. Or think of David, a shepherd boy overlooked even by his own family, left in the fields while his brothers were presented before the prophet Samuel. Yet God whispered, "That's the one." When man forgot David, heaven remembered him. And when his time came, no one could stop his anointing. The oil had his name on it. The throne had his destiny attached to it. The same pattern is unfolding in your life right now. You've been in a season where others didn't recognize your value, but that was by design. God had to conceal you while he completed you. He had to protect you from premature exposure. Because had you been elevated too early, you might have been celebrated for the wrong reason or surrounded by the wrong people. You weren't being delayed, you were being developed. Chosen one. This next elevation won't be by human effort. It will be by divine order. The same people who once overlooked you will soon look up to you. The ones who questioned your calling will soon seek your wisdom. The ones who underestimated your value will now recognize your worth. You are moving from the back of the line to the front of the stage, not because of luck, but because heaven has called your number. The word declares, "The last shall be first and the first shall be last." That's not just a saying, it's a spiritual law. God is about to flip the order. The tables are turning in your favor. Those who ran ahead may soon find themselves circling back to the one they left behind. You are about to see divine promotion happen so quickly that it will make every waiting season worth it. When God reverses a season, he does it suddenly. One day Joseph was in prison. The next he was ruling a nation. One day David was tending sheep. The next he was holding a scepter. And one day soon, you'll wake up to find yourself walking in rooms you once prayed to enter, holding blessings you once only dreamed of. Chapter 7. Step into your divine reversal with faith. Chosen one, this is your divine confirmation. God is about to reverse everything that was meant to destroy you. The storm you've been walking through wasn't to drown you, it was to direct you. The shaking you feel right now is not the end, it's the shift. Heaven is rearranging things in your favor. What once worked against you is now working for you. You're being lifted, restored and repositioned for the very promise you've been praying about. This is not the time to doubt. This is the time to believe bigger. Your faith is the currency of this next season. The doors that once stayed shut will open at the sound of your obedience. The people who once ignored you will be drawn to your light. Everything that seemed delayed is about to arrive right on divine schedule. But God is saying, don't walk by sight. What you see may still look chaotic, but what's forming in the unseen is glorious. You're not losing control. Heaven is taking over. Chosen one, remember this. Before every great reversal, there's a great test of trust. God will strip away your dependence on what's familiar, so He can teach you to depend only on Him. That's why it's been uncomfortable. That's why things stopped making sense. He's been building your faith muscle, because where you're going next, faith isn't optional. It's essential. The divine reversal that's unfolding in your life is not just for your comfort, it's for God's glory. The world will look at you and know this was no ordinary story. Your testimony will carry proof that God still turns mourning into dancing, loss into legacy, and suffering into strength. The same people who questioned your faith will soon be asking you how you kept believing, and your answer will be simple. Because I knew who held my story. Lift your head, chosen one. The season of hiding is over. The delay was never denial. It was divine timing aligning with heaven's calendar. Now the heavens are open, and the command has been released. It's time to step boldly into what God has already written for you. Speak with authority, not anxiety. Move with peace, not panic. Stand tall, knowing that the same God who watched your pain is now releasing your promise. Everything that once seemed against you is being flipped in your favor. The tables are turning, and divine justice is being served.